Hi, Dave Anderson here at the Camera Company. Today let's talk about ISO, what it is and how you can use it in your photography. ISO, quite frankly, is nothing more than a number. It's a number that's assigned to how sensitive your camera is to light. If you were shooting film, you would buy film based on ISO. If you're shooting outside in bright light, you'd buy ISO 200 film because it doesn't have to be super sensitive. You've got a lot of light. But if you go inside and you're shooting maybe in a gymnasium or the family around a holiday, you're at the dinner table, whatever, you're inside, there's not a lot of light, you're going to shoot a film that has an ISO of 400 or higher because of the fact you need to have something that's more sensitive that requires less light in order to capture your picture. Now, the beauty of digital is that you can change the ISO on the fly. You can go into the back of your camera and make the ISO greater or smaller depending on what your shooting situation is. So remember again, aperture, adjust your depth of field. A wide open f2.8 letting a lot of light through the lens is going to give you very shallow depth of field, where stopping that lens down to maybe f8, 11, or 16 is going to give you a greater depth of field. Shutter speed freezes action. So a slow shutter speed of like 1/3 of a second is going to be all blurry. You use that when you're shooting waterfalls, or if you want to have motion. If you want to capture your son or daughter hitting the baseball and freeze them in motion, you need a shutter speed of 1/500th of a second or greater. So in order to get all three to work together, shutter speed, aperture, and ISO, you get to choose your ISO and choose it according to what the setting is. If you're inside and it's dark, a higher ISO. If you're outside and it's bright, a lower ISO works for you. I'm going to show you two examples of lighting situations, and then we will come back and wrap this up. Okay, so here we are outside. As you can see, it's so bright that I almost have to squint. Therefore, you can use a fast shutter speed, and you can close your lens down using an f-stop of f8, f11, maybe f16, and still use a lower ISO. So if I were using film, I would take a film that has an ISO of 200. The beauty of a digital camera is I can change the ISO at will, and outside I would probably lower my ISO to 50, 100, or 200, and still be able to capture nice sharp images. Now here I am in the store, and you can see that I'm in a much lower light level. So in order to maintain a shutter speed and an aperture that is going to give me some depth of field and freeze the action, I need to have a faster sensor. Therefore in film, we would be using a higher ISO film, maybe a film that has an ISO of 400. The beauty again of digital is I can now take my camera and change my ISO, move it up to 400, 800, or even higher, being able to maintain shutter speeds and apertures. So this is one of the uses for ISO. You change it as you need it in the environment that you're shooting your pictures in. Okay, we have just demonstrated if you're outside and it's bright, you don't need a lot of ISO. You can go with like a lower 200. If you're inside and it's dark, you need to have that ISO up higher. I hope this tip was helpful. If so, follow us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see you on the next video.